Hey folks, welcome to Top 3 in Cybersecurity, a bite-sized view of 3 of the most important news stories in cybersecurity this week. Now let's jump in. Coming in at number 1 this week, DeepSeek, a Chinese AI startup, just had a major security blunder. Researchers at Wiz discovered that the company had left 2 databases completely exposed online. No password, no authentication, just sitting there open to the public internet. Inside of there, over 1 million plain text chat logs, API keys, backend details, all sorts of sensitive operational data. Now, this kind of exposure could have let attackers not only access the user conversations, but also exploit DeepSeek's internal systems. And while there's no confirmation that bad actors got there first, it's a serious privacy and security risk. Now, DeepSeek quickly locked down things after being notified, but this comes on the heels of a recent cyber attack that's already forced them to pause new user registrations. And for a company handling AI interactions at scale, this raises some pretty big concerns about just how secure some of these platforms are. All right, coming in number 2 this week, Apple has patched this year's first actively exploited zero-day vulnerability, a security flaw affecting iPhones, iPads, Macs, even Apple Watches and TVs. Now, this flaw exists in Apple Core Media's framework that could allow a malicious app to gain elevated privileges. And while Apple hasn't shared specifics yet, it did confirm that this bug has already been exploited in real-world attacks, particularly on older iOS versions. Now, the fix is available across all Apple platforms, including iOS 18.3, macOS Sequoia 15.3, and watchOS 11.3. And while this exploit was largely expected to be used in highly targeted attacks, think nation-state actors, users are strongly advised to update their devices immediately and stay protected before this becomes more prevalent. All right, now coming in number 3, over 1 million patients are being notified of a major data breach at Community Health Center, a leading healthcare provider in Connecticut. Attackers gained access to CHC's networks in October 2024, but the breach wasn't discovered until January 2025, more than 2 months later. Now, inside that environment, hackers stole sensitive data, including personal details like social security numbers, medical records with diagnoses, treatment options. Fortunately, CHC's operations weren't disrupted, but the attackers didn't encrypt any systems, and it doesn't seem like there's any ransomware installed. Now, CHC claims that hackers' access was cut off, but these data theft attacks are on the rise. Just this week, we saw the New York Blood Center, United Healthcare, are also reporting massive breaches. And with the growing threat, U.S. government is probably going to push for some stricter data protections, maybe like what we see with New York DFS, but maybe associated to HIPAA. So be on the lookout for more here. But that's it for Top 3. I hope you've enjoyed this bite-sized view of cybersecurity news, and I'll catch everyone next week.